Our story starts here in the Netherlands, in its second largest city, Rotterdam, in the 1970s. And it starts with the Netherlands' oldest professional football club. And with one player in particular, a legend, a former captain, Jan van Baalen. Now Jan was a formidable central defender. He had an awesome nickname, the Beast. Because of the size of his thighs, the guy was a tough tackler and nobody wanted to get tackled from the Beast. Jan was also a loving family man. He'd been married to his wife, Helda, for many, many years, and they had twins, a boy named Ruud and a girl named Eva. But he was an old-fashioned family man. He wanted his son, Ruud, to follow in his footsteps and get into football, either as a player or as a coach. But he strongly believed his daughter Eva should learn how to become a good wife. Old-fashioned views, but something Jan firmly believed in. Now once his playing days were up, Jan van Baalen became the manager of Sparta Rotterdam, guiding them to their last league title in the 80s. He was a legend not only as a player, but as a coach. And when his career finished, he spent the next decade travelling Europe, working as a pundit. And his connections at Sparta had given his son a chance to become a coach with the youth team. Ruud van Baalen had a job every young lad in Holland dreamed of. Only thing is, it's not what Ruud wanted to do. In fact, Ruud had always dreamed about being a painter, an artist. He'd spend his weekends when his father wasn't dragging him down to the training pitch, hiding in his grandmother's shed, doing what he loved, painting pictures. But if his father found out, he would not be happy, and Ruud didn't want to disappoint his dad. Now Jan also loved his daughter dearly. He had old-fashioned views on how she should behave, but he loved his little girl. But he did strongly believe that she should be at home, cooking, cleaning and ironing, learning how to be a good wife for her future husband. But Eva, she had different ideas. She was more like a dad than a dad would ever realise. Trouble is, Jan had jobs that took him all over the world, so Eva would sneak out. She'd go to local teams, help with the coaching. She'd get all the money she could to help do her coaching badges. This girl was going to defy her father. This girl wanted to be a manager just like him. Now after many years of working as a pundit, his old club Sparta Rotterdam came calling, and they appointed Jan van Baalen as their new director of football. And it wasn't long after that they needed a new manager. So the first thing the director of football did was promote his own son from coach to first team manager. Now Ruud was smiling that day, proud to be sat with his dad, following his father's footsteps just like his father wanted. But inside, he was crying. His inner artist would have to be hidden forever. So while his son started his role, unhappily, some would say, as the new manager of Sparta Rotterdam, Jan was the happiest man in the world. His daughter was getting married to a famous ex-Holland international. Life was great. He had a lovely new office. Director of football was a great role, but without the pressure of being a manager. He could oversee everything, and Jan liked to control everything, even his son's career at Sparta. But Ruud was getting used to the job. He got stuck into it, and he was going to try his best to get Sparta back into the top flight. Eva, on the other hand, had to put her dreams to one side. She'd fallen pregnant and was due to give birth to a baby at any moment. But then she saw something in the news, something that would change her life forever. Because FC Eindhoven, in the same division as Sparta, but tipped to go straight down this season, were looking for a brand new manager. This tiny little club that lived in the shadow of PSV were dying for some new direction. So Eva, knowing they wouldn't look at her twice as a woman, especially pregnant, she applied in her brother's name. When she turned up, the board was shocked, but she talked them into letting her give her presentation, and the pregnant Eva blew them away. And within an hour, a decision had been made, and Eva van Baalen had been given the job as first team manager at FC Eindhoven. Eva's dreams were coming true. She was going to be a manager of a great team, battling out with a brother in the same division. But when Jan van Baalen heard the news, he wasn't happy. He had other dreams for his daughter. He really believed she should be looking after her husband while he went out doing his various business ventures. But her husband had had a great career. He was a legend in Holland, and he loved his wife and he loved his new little family, and he backed his wife 100%. And Eva van Baalen was determined to not only make this a success, to not only take FC Eindhoven into the top flight, but to make her father see that she was just like him. She wanted to make her dad proud. Ruud couldn't believe his sister had become a manager at a team in the same league as him. This blew him away. This changed everything. He may have wanted to be an artist, but he couldn't have his little sister getting one up on him. This gave him a new desire to be a success. So there we had it. A brother and a sister managing teams in the same division, with dreams of getting them teams into the top flight. A son forced into this role by his father, giving everything to him on a plate, with a new desire to get one up on his sister, and a daughter with a dream. A lifelong dream to have the job she now has, and a determination to prove not only her brother wrong, but mainly her father. So, who would have the best career? Who would come out on top? Well, we were going to find out in Sibling Rivalry. Hello, my name's Bood and welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, hopefully by the end of this episode you'll be a subscriber. If you're already a subscriber, as always, thanks for watching another one of my videos, and this is another one of my story-based experiments. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it enough to smash the like button. I really would appreciate that. It helps the episode, it helps the series, it helps the channel, so thank you very much. Also, make sure you comment, let me know what you think, because that helps too. But also, if you really want to help the channel, I've got a lot of pressure from my wife at the minute because of the amount of time I'm spending making videos. So I've started a Patreon to help support the channel and keep my wife off my back. So if you want to go that extra mile and you like what I do, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the description. So if you want to do that, thank you very much. You're a legend. Also, if you do that, my new series for FM20 later in the year, you'll be in it as a player or as a staff member. It's totally up to you. Right then, Sibling Rivalry. Hopefully the story explained it, but we've got a brother and sister. They're both managers. We've got Ruud, who is a manager, who's a coaching manager, grown up with his father on the training ground, so he's very good at the coaching aspects, but I've given him lesser mentals. On the other hand, you've got Eva, who always wants to be a manager. Always wanted to be a manager, but her dad's old-fashioned, didn't want to work at all. So we're going to go all the way to 2040 in this video, and we're going to jump in at different points, and we're going to see how their careers ended up and see what paths it took. It's a good one. I hope it is. So let's get into it. Now, I do want to say a big thank you at this moment to a very good friend of mine called That Guy JC. He's a YouTuber, a football manager YouTuber, and a great one at that. He's had a long running series this year with Mick all over. He's done a few little one-offs that are brilliant. His last video, go and check it out. Or his second to last video, how to get sacked in Football Manager. Brilliant. He's so funny. Well, he actually plays Jan van Baalen, Eva van Baalen, Ruud van Baalen, and if you watch all my other stuff, he is Texas J as well. So yeah, it's a big thank you for going out of his way and letting me use his image as a Texan, as a woman, as an old man, and as himself, sort of. So yeah, thanks mate. Honestly, you will find a link to his channel in the description. Go and check him out. Drop a sub for me. Go on, thank you very much. Right, well this is Jan van Baalen. Now, he's a director of football. The story doesn't revolve around him. We're never going to look at him again. I just want to look at his favoured personnel and just mention something, right? This game will allow you to have female staff. You can't have female players yet. I think there's a database out there someone's created though. On Steam, go check it out. Right, so you can have sons, brothers, fathers. But you can't have a mother. You can't have sister or anything like that. So Eva is classed as a relation, even though it's his daughter. And this is Ruud van Baalen. He's 29 years old. He's a good manager because he's come from good stock. He's been around this club for a long, long time, and he's got potential to be great. The potential. Now, I want to put this out there because some people think if you give people great potential, guaranteed going to happen. It doesn't. Go and watch, right? It happens more often than not. If you go and watch my Liverpudlian triplets video, for some reason that didn't work out as well as some of my others. The dad had the same potential as these guys. Spent 3 years at Tranmere and then retired and disappeared. Never got a job. The 3 lads had the same potential to become superstars and were okay. Some of them were bad. So you never know what's going to happen. So if you look at him here, you'll see he is more of a coach-sided kind of manager. So he's got great coaching ability to defend, technical, Holland. Whereas his mentals are lacking. He's not really determined. His man management, stuff like that isn't great, right? He likes to play 4-2-3-1 wide, standard playing style, general coaching style. He's just like the story said, he wanted to be an artist, but he's found himself in this job. A quick look at his personal information, and you'll see he's fairly loyal. He signs domestic players, likes to use young players in low priority games, makes early tactical changes. He'll sit back and protect his lead, quite defensive really. And you see over there, Jan van Baalen is his father, and Eva is his relation, sister. And he is of course a fan of Sparta because he's spent his entire life here. So on to Eva van Baalen. I'm really interested to see if it really matters if they're a woman or a man. I'm guessing not really. So she's studied the game. So you see her coaching side is crap because she's never really coached players, but she knows the game. So adaptability is great because she's been all over doing her own thing. She's determined, pretty determined. She's got a lot of discipline like her old man. Man management and motivating, all these things have got the potential to become great. And we'll see what happens. She plays a formation I used to love on this game. The 4-1-4-1 defensive midfielder, asymmetric. I like it. I used to love it. Now you may not have noticed, or you may have noticed, but they've both got the top coaching badges. But you might notice Ruud has got a better reputation than his sister because of who he is. He's been a coach, he's been around the game. His sister's got crap reputation, so she's starting at the worst team with no reputation. So it's really against her to do well, really. And she's a woman. The whole world's like, a woman in charge? So there's a lot of press scrutiny on it. I hope the girl, come on sister, I hope she does them proud. But yeah, she's also a Sparta supporter, growing up with a dad as a player and a manager. She's outspoken though. Plays mind games. She's like her old man. That's what I designed her old man to be as a manager. She's not like her brother, quiet. I just want to paint pictures. She will tell you as it is, like my wife. She doesn't take any shit. She's a boss. She's a manager, a very high manager as well, and she just does not take any shit. I've kind of modelled her on my wife, except she looks like my friend in a wig with lipstick on. But neither of these are managing teams in the Dutch top division. They're actually in the division below. Let's call it the second division, because I can't pronounce that. I'm not going to embarrass myself in trying. But you'll see, Ajax's B team is actually the favourites to win it. Sparta, I think Sparta were one of them teams that had never been out of the top flight until a while ago. I think they might have hired, it was Rijkaard, old Dutch player, and got relegated. So that's where they find themselves at the start of FM19. Now if we look, Sparta are actually up there. They've just been relegated, but they're predicted to finish 4th. So, you know, Ruud's got a good team there. He's got a great chance of getting out of the league and winning it. Do you know what I mean? So he's got a much better head start than his sister, who's all the way down here. Second worst team in the league. Could get relegated. She's got a right struggle on her hands to prove herself, hasn't she? Let's have a quick look at the clubs just so you can see what they are. And I've always liked Sparta Rotterdam. It's one of them teams I always liked because they were called Sparta. And it sort of always just reminds me of the Greeks, you know what I mean? So it's just always a team I quite liked. Facilities wise, they've got a cracking little stadium. I like it. It's got like this old brick house at the front, just like a. It's weird, but really, really cool. It's 11,000 all seater. It was built in 1916. According to Wikipedia, they are the oldest club in Holland. But it's got excellent training facilities, great youth facilities. He has got Rudy boy, got a great chance, hasn't he? Over to Eva van Balen's team, and it is FC Eindhoven, a team I've never really heard much about. You hear about PSV, but I didn't know much about their smaller neighbour, FC Eindhoven. Facilities wise, they play at a very small stadium. This looks like a non-league stadium in England. This is when I looked at a stadium, I instantly thought non-league. I mean, it's tiny. The Jan Leuwers Stadion. It's only got just short of 4,500 capacity. Built in 1934. She's got good training facilities though. Well, here we are. It's the year 2023, and Ruud van Baalen is still in charge of Sparta, which is a positive thing. Now, I will say as well, just because I forgot to say earlier, if this is the first video you've ever seen, what I do is each story, only my story ones, I build them on top of each other. I'm creating the Boodiverse, so all these stories end up interlinked. So with every new story, a new part of the story gets added to it, and you will find a link for it down below in the description if you want to jump in and be take part in any of the stories that I've created. But here we are anyway with Ruud van Baalen. He's now 34, and his stats have gone up now. Everyone always says, right, and I always find it the same thing really. Sometimes your mentals as a manager, when you're growing, don't tend to improve. I'm never 100% sure how you can improve your stats properly as a manager. What the best thing is to do? Do you just keep playing and winning? Is that the best thing? It looks like he's got into the top flight. In 2019, he was the runner-up. In 2020, he won it, which is great. And he's finished 10th in the Eredivisie. You can never say that, me. Top flight. 8th. That's not too great. He's gone backwards. Then 7th. So he's floating around that 7th, 8th kind of position. But that's great. Over to Eva, though. And, well, she's still at FC Eindhoven, which, again, is a great, really positive thing. After 5 years, that's quality. Look at her mentals. Mentals are on the up. Coaching, she's not bothered. She must just be hiring. She'll hire the guys in. You do the coaching. I'll just concentrate on picking the team and the tactics and all that stuff. So, yeah. I mean, as a manager, I'd prefer to be more mentally. And I don't know what you do, but whenever I create my own character, depending on what badges I've got, I always try and push the majority of them to my mentals. They're also in the top flight now, which is really good. And what's really good is that the year her brother finally won the league in 2020, it says promoted. I think that's the playoffs. And then in the first year, 9th. So she's in and around with her brother in the top flight. 15th. Ooh. Bit dodge. And 12th. But do you know what? To get that little club who were bottom, that shows that she's just gone right up. Well, here we are now. It is 2030. I did say we go 10 years, but we're going to jump back here at 2030. And Ruud van Baalen has got the top job. Now his mentals have got better. His man manager and motivating have maxed. I don't know about his coaching though. I don't know what he's done with that, but all round he's obviously a really good manager. And the way he plays, maybe his mentals, everything's just combined to make him good enough to be manager of Holland. Let's just check in on what he did with Sparta before he left. And last time we looked at about 2023, so he stayed there at least another year. Finished 6th, so he's just, he's got them out of the second division into the top flight, and they're up there. When we switch to Holland straight away, he came 3rd in the World Cup in 2026. Now you've got to remember, I've done nothing. This is the Holland team. I've done no story base. Nothing in the Boodiverse has given the Dutch any kind of players, right? So this is just Holland itself. He came 3rd in the World Cup. Then he won the European Football Championships in 2028. And then in 2029, he won the Confederations Cup. Over to his sister, and she is at NAC Breda, who are a team in the top flight of Holland. But what you can't see is where she has been. In between that, she's been at 2 other teams. Well, you can see there where she's been, but before we get into that in a bit more detail, I just saw that. She basically won the FA Cup of Holland in 2025. No wonder she ended up getting a new job. No wonder when her brother left Sparta. Who did Sparta think? We've had Jan. Now, also, I'm going to in the story, I mentioned Jan as a manager won Sparta their last league title in the 80s. Sparta never won a title in the 80s. It's part of the story. PSV won the title. I've given one to Sparta for part of the story. So anyway, in the story, Jan won a title. Now, brother has then been the manager. He got him in the top flight, but struggled to make an impact, didn't he? But he's left to become manager of Holland. And she's won the freaking FA Cup, or whatever it's called, the Toto KNVB Becker. Surely he's gone, do you know what? You followed your dreams. I should have backed you more. You've done me proud, girl. You've done me proud. I think he's going to get that little bit more proud. He should do. For God's sake. Not only because she married the greatest ever striker in the world, in my opinion, Ruud van Nistelrooy, but because if we check her Sparta history here, she came 3rd, then 7th, and people are probably thinking, oh God. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know. Let's scroll up. Then she freaking won it. She won the league. Her dad done it. Her brother couldn't do it. She did it. She won the freaking league with Sparta. And then she won the Johan Cruyff Schal And then she won the league again. But you may notice her little stint in England didn't last long. She got there at the end of May and was gone by Christmas. The trouble is she didn't get sacked by Palace. I don't know if it's because her dream is to play in the top flight of Holland, but she's turned her back. Maybe she's got homesick and thought, I don't like this. And she's gone back to Holland after leaving bloody Sparta, right? Straight away gets runners-up in the league. Her brother's now been manager of Holland for 6 years. He's done pretty well. I'm guessing, I don't know if it's because of the way we've made him or the way I've made him. If you think of it in the ways of the story, it's a bit easier than every day-to-day management, isn't it? He's good at it. He knows he's good at it. But being an international manager gives him a lot more free time to do what he really loves, and that's paint. Just wants to paint pictures of stuff like trees. Do you know what I mean? That's all he wants to do. Naked ladies. Just to show you. I didn't realise, but it's 2030. I should have realised because that's when England won the World Cup in one of my other videos. So England, remember, I've got a great team at this point. You've got all the characters I've made coming through, and they've got a great chance of doing something. But the World Cup's on at the minute. I reckon we find out who wins the World Cup. Well. Hey? Ruud van Baalen is the master of international football. Not only did he knock out England on penalties just, I mean, when we were looking, was he playing Russia? So he beat Russia 2-0, beat Croatia 1-0. Now, this is years ago. I'm safe fouling every 5 years, so I've had to jump forward to 2035. But then he beat England, who at that time are amazing. I mean, look who's on there. Kane, Rusko, Abel, Rusko, you know, from the one of my other videos. And then he beat Germany 2-1 in a final. So he won the World Cup. He was there for years. And that, you know, whenever you win the World Cup, you've got to get out on top, haven't you? So I think he won it all. European Championships, Confederations Cup, FIFA World Cup. Just the Nations League, I don't know if he ever won that, did he? Don't think so. Who cares about that? Look where he's ended up though. Of course, he got the big job after he left. The Dutch big job. The biggest job in the world. Manchester United manager. Could a manager of his calibre, of his background, could he turn United around? Not really, no. Finished 6th, which is bad. Lost the FA Cup. If we go up, lost the Carabao Cup. Finished 3rd in the league. Won an FA Cup and then won a Charity Shield. And finished 7th in the league and won an FA Cup. And got sacked. That's not great, is it? But got a big job in Germany with RB Leipzig, a team with great finances on this game. Finished 4th and 4th. And that's where he finds himself right now, 2 years into a job, struggling to get in the top 3 of the Bundesliga. Over to his sister, and she's now another team. Another team in Holland, and she's been at another team in Holland since the last team she was at in Holland. This girl is doing a tour of Holland. Fortunately for her, after her runners-up in the league, she never really did anything else, and she was sacked. She followed that up by going to ADO Den Haag, and she finished mid-table, and she's done nothing here. She only lasted, God, she didn't even last long, did she? And now she finds herself 3 years into this job. But I'm guessing maybe there's a lot less pressure here because she's finishing like 15th, 12th, 10th. Sad news is though, you might need a tissue. Jan van Baalen died. So he died in June. So, you know, loads of people turned up. Louis van Gaal, who used to play on his team. You might notice Louis in the story. He's in one of the team photographs. Legends from everywhere. Ruud van Nistelrooy, obviously his son-in-law. But on his deathbed, he held his daughter's hand and he said to her, "Eva, you've done me proud, girl. You followed your dream, you ignored what I wanted, but you've made me prouder than anyone, any father in the world." And it brought a tear to Eva's eye and it brings a tear to mine. Anyway, enough of that crap. Let's see what happens. We're going to jump forward to 2040. And Ruud van Baalen has got a quality job, hasn't he? Inter Milan. Last time we left him was at Leipzig. In the last 5 years, he's had 3 jobs. Look at that. Look at the jobs he's been at. We'll look at that in a minute. But when we were at Leipzig, last time we looked, he was struggling, wasn't he? 4th from 4th. Well, they actually ended up becoming runners-up in the league, which is good for them, and runners-up in the cup. In 2036, the bridesmaid he was. And he went to Bayern Munich and actually took over the team that beat him, I'm guessing, and was in the Super Cup and won it. So then, 2037, he finishes 3rd, which isn't good enough, really, for Bayern. And what's not good enough is he actually won the Europa League, which is great, but they sacked him. He stayed in Germany, took a bit of a step down, went to Bayer Leverkusen, his 3rd team now. in the Bundesliga, and it was just a bit so-so. Didn't last a year and got sacked again. He went to Porto in the summer, didn't really do much with Porto. Wasn't sacked, left the role to take the Inter job. So, you know, he's been a bit like this since Holland, hasn't he? He went to Man United, big hopes. Leipzig did well. Bayern, okay. So again, you know, he's kind of been all right. So he's come to Inter. He's just finished 4th. And he's just won the Coppa Italia and just finished 5th in the Serie A. And on to Eva, she seems to have chilled out a bit now. Whereas a brother since the last time had been at 3 clubs and then Inter Milan. She's left that last club and come to this club, AZ. One of the teams I do know, one of the bigger teams I think in Holland. And you know, she's a great manager, 51 years old. I'm surprised though by now, and you know, it's still got a chance for it to happen for her, that she hasn't got the Holland job. She made a real name for herself with her last team because she won the cup again. She won it twice with them. So she won it actually 2037 and 2038. So she won that 3 times, I think. Obviously with FC Eindhoven, and wow. And then she left that to take this job, and what I'm really buzzing with the little cherry on the top at the end of this is that she's won the league with him. So she's really like said, you know, I can do well here. I've won cups with multiple teams. I've won the league with Sparta. So thank you, Dad. I can do it. And she's done it again. She's won the league with AZ. That's bloody brilliant, isn't it? None of them have ever won a Champions League. There's always going to be a struggle for Eva to win a Champions League because she's never really been at a powerhouse that could probably win it. Her brother, on the other hand, he could have. He won a Europa League, but he didn't win the Champions League. But bloody hell, he won a World Cup. Well, there we go. That is the end of Sibling Rivalry. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch me and this episode. I really do appreciate it. If you like what I do and you enjoyed it, make sure you smash the like button because it really does help more people find the video. And if you really like what I do, make sure you subscribe. And also, you can go the extra mile and pledge to my Patreon. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, every one of my patrons will get a special important role in my main FM20 series later on this year. So thank you very much. It's been amazing. I've been Bood. I'll see you next time.